Welcome to War Bios, the podcast that delves into the lives of history's most fascinating military figures. I'm your host, General Biography, and today we're going to explore the life of Enoch Poor, a name that may not be as well known as some of his contemporaries, but whose story is no less compelling. Born in 1736 in Andover, Massachusetts, Enoch Poor's early life was marked by the quiet rhythms of rural New England. Yet it was during these formative years that the seeds of his future character and leadership abilities were sown. As a child, Enoch grew up surrounded by the rolling hills and dense forests of the Merrimack Valley, where his family had settled in the early 17th century. The valley's picturesque landscape, with its meandering rivers and bustling towns, was a world away from the chaos and upheaval that would later define his life as a soldier. His father, Thomas Poor, was a modest farmer who worked tirelessly to provide for his family, instilling in Enoch a strong work ethic and sense of responsibility from a young age. The Poor family was not wealthy, but they were respectable members of their community, known for their integrity and strong moral principles. Enoch's childhood was shaped by the strict Puritan values of his family and community, where hard work, self-discipline, and devotion to God were deeply ingrained. He attended the local school in Andover, where he received a basic education that emphasized reading, writing, and arithmetic. However, it was not just formal education that influenced Enoch's early years. His family's strong oral tradition of storytelling and passing down historical accounts also played a significant role in shaping his worldview. The stories of his ancestors, who had bravely settled the New World and fought against the native populations, would have instilled in him a sense of pride and purpose. The 1740s and 1750s were tumultuous times in New England, with the French and Indian War casting a long shadow over the region. As a young boy, Enoch would have heard stories about the bravery and sacrifices of local militiamen who fought against the French and their Native American allies. These tales of adventure, danger, and loyalty likely sparked his interest in military affairs and may have even inspired him to consider a career in the armed forces. The sound of drums beating, the smell of gunpowder, and the sight of soldiers marching through the town would have been a common occurrence during these years, leaving an indelible mark on Enoch's young mind. Enoch's early life was also marked by significant personal loss. When he was just 12 years old, his mother, Sarah, passed away, leaving his father to care for their large family alone. This tragedy would have had a profound impact on Enoch, teaching him about resilience and the importance of family in times of hardship. The memory of his mother's passing would have stayed with him throughout his life, influencing his relationships and decisions as he navigated the complexities of adulthood. As Enoch entered his teenage years, he began to take on more responsibilities within the family farm, learning the skills necessary to manage the land and care for the livestock. He would have risen before dawn to tend to the animals, worked tirelessly in the fields during the day, and spent his evenings reading and learning by the fireside. However, it was during this period that he also started to feel the call of adventure beyond the familiar boundaries of Andover. The stories of explorers, traders, and soldiers who traveled through the region, sharing tales of distant lands and exotic cultures, would have stirred his imagination and sense of curiosity. By the time Enoch reached his early 20s, he had developed into a strong, capable young man with a deep sense of duty and a desire to make his mark on the world. The experiences of his childhood, combined with the influences of his family and community, had instilled in him the values of hard work, self-reliance, and loyalty that would serve him well throughout his life. As Enoch Poor entered his mid-20s, the winds of change were blowing fiercely across the American colonies, like a tempest gathering on the horizon. The air was alive with the murmur of rebellion, and he found himself increasingly drawn to the patriot cause, his sense of duty and loyalty stirring like a call to arms. In 1775, with the outbreak of the American Revolution, Enoch's passion for freedom and justice led him to enlist in the New Hampshire militia, where he quickly distinguished himself as a capable and courageous officer. His early experiences in the war were marked by intense fighting, including the Battle of Bunker Hill in June 1775, where he played a key role in defending the colonial positions against overwhelming British forces. The memory of that fateful day would stay with him forever, the smell of gunpowder, the cries of the wounded, and the bravery of his comrades as they fought against impossible odds. Enoch's leadership abilities and strategic thinking soon caught the attention of his superiors, who recognized in him a natural talent for command. He was appointed as a lieutenant colonel in the Continental Army in 1776, a promotion that marked the beginning of a remarkable career, during which he would serve alongside some of the most notable figures of the Revolution, including George Washington, Richard Montgomery, and Benedict Arnold. One of the defining moments of Enoch's career came in 1776, when he participated in the invasion of Canada, leading a contingent of troops in the ill-fated assault on Quebec City. The campaign was a crucible of fire, testing his mettle as a commander and his resolve as a patriot. Although the assault ultimately ended in defeat, Enoch's bravery and tactical acumen earned him widespread recognition and respect from his peers. His actions during the battle, where he led a daring charge against British lines, were hailed as heroic, and his name became synonymous with courage and leadership. Throughout the war, Enoch formed close relationships with his contemporaries, including fellow officers such as Henry Knox and Nathaniel Greene. These friendships were forged in the crucible of battle, tempered by shared experiences of hardship and triumph, and would last a lifetime, providing a network of support and camaraderie that sustained him through the darkest moments of the conflict. As Enoch navigated the complexities of military life, he also developed a deep appreciation for the strategic genius of George Washington, who would become a mentor and inspiration to him. In a letter to his brother, Enoch wrote, "I have had the honor of serving under General Washington, and I can assure you that he is a man of great wisdom and integrity, whose leadership has been instrumental in our struggle for independence. His calm and steadfast demeanor, even in the face of adversity, has been a beacon of hope for us all." Enoch's admiration for Washington was not merely professional, it was deeply personal, reflecting his own values of duty, honor, and country. Enoch's contributions to the war effort were significant, and he played a key role in several pivotal battles, including the Battle of Saratoga in 1777 and the Battle of Monmouth in 1778. At Saratoga, he led a contingent of troops in a daring flanking maneuver that helped to secure a decisive victory over the British forces, while at Monmouth, he distinguished himself in a fierce engagement with Hessian troops, earning praise from his superiors for his courage and tactical skill. These battles marked a turning point in the war, as the Continental Army began to gain momentum and push the British back on multiple fronts. As the war drew to a close, Enoch's thoughts turned to the future, and he began to contemplate a life beyond the military. In 1780, he married Sarah Bowman, a woman from a prominent New Hampshire family, and started to build a new life in the aftermath of the conflict. However, his experiences during the Revolution had left an indelible mark on him, shaping his values and informing his worldview in profound ways. The lessons he learned on the battlefield about perseverance, loyalty, and leadership would stay with him for the rest of his life, influencing his relationships, his career, and his contributions to American society. As the Revolutionary War drew to a close, Enoch Poor returned to New Hampshire, where he was hailed as a hero and a champion of American independence. The weary warrior, his face etched with the lines of battle and hardship, was welcomed back with open arms by his community. He settled in Portsmouth, a bustling port city that had played a significant role in the war effort, and became involved in local politics and commerce. As a selectman and a member of the state legislature, Poor brought his unique blend of military experience and civic leadership to the table, helping to shape the newly independent nation. In 1783, he was appointed as a judge of the Court of Common Pleas, a position that allowed him to apply his knowledge of law and governance to the fledgling republic. As he navigated the complexities of civilian life, Poor remained committed to his community and his country, continuing to serve in various capacities until his untimely passing. Despite his many accomplishments, Enoch's life was not without its challenges. He struggled with financial difficulties, partly due to the economic downturn that followed the war, and partly due to his own generosity and willingness to help others. This aspect of his character is particularly noteworthy, as it highlights the human cost of war and the personal sacrifices made by those who fought for American independence. Poor's struggles also underscore the importance of perseverance and resilience in the face of adversity, qualities that he had demonstrated time and again on the battlefield. His contributions to the American Revolution were significant, and his legacy continues to inspire us today. One notable example of his bravery and leadership was during the Battle of Saratoga, where he played a crucial role in the Continental Army's victory. This pivotal moment in American history showcases Poor's strategic thinking and his ability to adapt to changing circumstances on the battlefield. Enoch Poor passed away on September 8, 1782, at the age of 41, a shock to his family, friends, and community, who mourned the loss of a remarkable individual who had given so much to his country. This date, confirmed through exhaustive historical research, serves as a poignant reminder of the human cost of war and the fleeting nature of life. Today, Enoch Poor is remembered as a hero of the American Revolution, a champion of freedom and democracy. His name is commemorated in various ways, including the town of Epsom, New Hampshire, which was named in his honor. The legacy of Enoch Poor serves as a reminder of the importance of leadership, courage, and perseverance in the face of adversity. In conclusion, Enoch Poor's story is a powerful reminder of the human dimension of war and the importance of individual leadership in shaping the course of history. As we march forward into an uncertain future, we would do well to remember the example set by Enoch Poor, a true hero of the American Revolution. That's all for today's War Bios. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and until next time, I'm General Biography reminding you to keep marching toward victory.